Alright, so I'm just going to give a quick little tour of my greenhouse and all my carnivorous plants growing in here. I've got pretty much all the genera of carnivorous plants in here. Nepenthes, Sarracenia, Drosophyllum, drosera, cephalotus, heliamphora, Nepenthes. So I even got some live spag and stuff growing, so I'm just going to show some of my plants that I have in here. You got a Burbigiae by Veitchii here. It's doing pretty well. It's really grown in size in the last year. It's probably close to a foot in diameter now, and it's just become one that's really big and healthy looking for me. Here's my Nepenthes attenboroughii, which doesn't have a live picture on it right now, but it's really picked up in growth too in the last 3 months, I'd say. They put out this nice leaf jump here, and it's just looking healthy and happy. One plant that's not doing as well is this lowii, which I got last July, and it's literally the same size, the same diameter as when I got it. And the pictures are not really much further along than when I first got it, but I don't know, I'm just gonna keep it around and see if anything happens with it. Here are some heliamphora that I have, and this is a California carnivorous house hybrid. I think it's Tate folliculata, and here's heterodoxa. Here's Newtons by Glabra by Tequila. I'm not sure if it's like, I think it's like an EP hybrid or something. Here's my Rubrikinia reducta, the carnivorous bromeliad. My little cephalotus here. It's in flower, a really tall freaking flower, but it's not huge. It's just got a few little pictures going. It looks nice, but it's just not big. Nepenthes villosa. This is my crown jewel of my collection, and it's not growing fast, I think, because it's been pretty warm, but it puts out a lot of pictures, and it's, I think, a pretty happy plant. Got some fly traps over here, ginormous, King Henry, Red Dragon, some Home Depot ones. This one's doing really well. I don't know what happened with this one, but it died off, and I guess it's putting out new stuff, new traps. Some cuttings over here of like Ventrata. Here's Truncata. Rob Cantley right here is doing pretty well, putting out some big leaf jumps. This is Nepenthes ovata, which has some aging but beautiful traps on it. Here's my Jambon. It's doing pretty well. Palawanensis got sick recently, as you can see with this leaf damage, but it's coming along pretty nicely, and it's making some leaf jumps, and it's going to have some pictures on it pretty soon. Here's a Veitchii, Borneo Exotics 3734. This is a pretty nice plant. It hasn't flared out its peristome yet, but it's starting to get more advanced pictures and increase the diameter of the rosette. So here's Nepenthes trismatiensis. This is one of my prize plants too. It's got a really nice picture on it right now. It's kind of hard to see in the light, but it's toothy, it's getting bigger, it's growing well, much better than my lowii, even though it's kind of weird because it has half its parentage with that exact plant over there. And Sibuensis by Hamada got sick recently, but now it's putting out a basil and has a nice little basil picture there. I'm waiting for the main rosette to start producing more pictures. Veitchii lowii by Spectabilis, very nice. It's really picturing well. It's going to look like something very nice in a couple of months. Raj by Mira is finally putting out pictures after a year hiatus. I'm not really sure what was the issue with that. Rob Cantley, Ursulocioides by Spectabilis. Very nice, won 3rd place in the Bay Caps plant show. Lots of big pictures on it, really coming along. Singulana Bellarang right here. Another really nice plant of mine that is putting out really big flared pictures, changing the peristome flaring. It's now more of a straight flare like Jacquelinia rather than this kind of ornate sharp edges here. Jacquelinia right here, doing pretty well. Really has come a long way since when I first got it. Pictures are really developing and starting to flare out. Burbigiae by Campanulata, got this from Pet Fly Trap in December 2017, and it's really starting to develop nice pictures and get some good coloring on them. And it's got a basil on the way, or basil coming up right now. Thinking about dividing it and selling it, but I'm not sure yet. It might look nice with some nice lower pictures in addition to the intermediates it's going to be putting out pretty soon. And here's my Ventricosa by Aristolochioides by, just Ventricosa by Aristolochioides. And it's vining all over the place, it's getting really big. I would cut it, but I mean, you can't sell the cuttings for much, and I don't really need another one of these plants, so I might just let it vine across the top of the greenhouse. Here's drosophyllum, dewy pine, it's doing okay. Here's drosera. So my sarracenias aren't that doing too well here. Nepenthes splendidana right here. Sarracenia flava rubicorpora right here. And yeah, not much is really going on other than that. I need to turn the fans back on because it gets hot in here. It gets to like the upper 80s, lower 90s without much trouble. So usually when I have it open like this. And yeah, this is just my backyard. And I got a few more plants that I didn't talk about, but for the most part, this is what I'm going to leave it at.